Welcome. Yes, I'm trying to bring our guest, Mr. Ed, who always join our live stream. Hold on. Yes, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us your time. Where are you joining us from? I'm trying to connect with our guest. Just give us seconds. Give us seconds. We plan to discuss something very important. And number one, we want to look into something so very important to the global. Example, the Elon Musk crisis with President Trump, and also the trade agreement between USA and China, Iran and USA, Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Hamas. Help us to make sense about it. Yeah, just give us your time. Hopefully, he will be here in a few seconds. Yeah, I'm trying to call him. Yeah, so bear with us. Yeah, can you hear me? Connect. I just sent you the link. Yeah, I can see you up live. Okay. It is. So, okay. Yes, sir. Mr. Ed, you're welcome.
Yeah,
We have been waiting for you, but nice to see you.
nice to see you too.
Yeah. Happy weekend or happy Sunday, rather.
Yeah, seems to you guys.
It's been long. Everybody has been asking about you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Life in Korea is not easy. It's busy time.
I get it. Okay, let's try to be a little bit faster and get into the day.
Okay.
Actually, I've been wanting to have a very nice conversation with you because I know you are well informed. You understand the global news and every stuff about it. Now, we are seeing what is happening between America and Iran in particular.
Yeah.
The regime of Mr. Trump claimed that the Iran nuclear deal have to be renegotiated.
Yeah.
And so far, these people they have been having meetings to renegotiate it. But so far, like recently, the supreme leader of Iran,
Yeah.
supreme leader of Iran,
Yeah.
came out
Yeah.
to say that Iran cannot give up her nuclear ambition.
Yeah.
So, like, it is a little bit confusing because, in the other hand, he, as a supreme leader, is sending his team to go and meet American team.
Mm.
But at home, he's sending message to the Muslim world and to
Yeah.
his followers that Iran cannot give up her nuclear ambition. What do you think about it?
Those are those are people. Iranians are people who already know what they want. So
Hmm.
what they want have already been decided back home. So by
Okay.
them sending their legal thing to the American negotiation table doesn't mean that they are going to give up their nukes. It's just about simple understanding and secondly maybe cutting a nuclear deal how to control the nuclear weapon. But
Mm,
they will not it's not all about Iran giving their nuclear ambition out. We
mm,
saw the Iranis are people who study history, they understand history very well. That's why they've been surviving in that Middle East for a very long time.
mm,
Like Iraq was great. Iraq was one of the powerful country, the most powerful country in the Middle East. But we saw what happened. They gave their nuclear. The American asked them to give their nukes up in I think around 1997, 1998, around there, and they gave their nukes to and they turned over their nukes to the Americans. And in
mm,
2003, we, we saw what happened 2001, 2002 to 2003. We saw what happened to Iraq. The
mm,
Americans were the same people who say Iran have weapon of mass destruction after they have already removed the Iraqis nukes, and they still
yes.
went there to destroy Iraq beyond repair. We saw what happened to Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar
Mm,
Gaddafi gave his nukes all in 2007. And in
yes.
2011, the US bombed them again. So the Americans are not people who are stable. They are not people who live according to paper. They are not people to trust. They are just like they are just like the evil. Like someone asked me before, do you think if there was no America, was the world going to be more safe? I, when I think about that question is when I think about that question, I think I consider Europe too. Europe was a superpower. We understand that, but
Yeah.
eventually we know that England is not a big country for them to continue controlling the world for a very long time to be more powerful. And we saw what happened to the German too. Eventually, the German lose control. So if the world superpower could be based around Europe, Russia, China, like that, the world couldn't experience such a disaster that is going on today. But the Americans' empire is very big, and a lot of criminal already settled down. The whole empire is just like a mob or cartel. Honestly, when people don't understand how to describe the American empire, it's true. We over the past time when we look back in history, we saw what happened to Guatemala, we saw what happened to Iraq, we saw what happened to Afghanistan. We saw what the Americans have done around the world. The Americans have no good legacy. The Americans have never developed any country, but they are good in destroying other people's country. If anybody tell me that the Americans can help, yet that person point at one country that the Americans have developed.
Okay, let me interject here. I will tell you that America will argue that they have helped to build Canada. They have helped to build Europe. Example, security of Canada, America is like the headmaster, the leader, that is the protector. And if you look at Europe, for example, America will always argue, we will protect you against Russia. Because collectively, they see Russia as a common enemy, right? So, like, America will always argue we are protecting a great country like Canada and, in fact, the entire European continent, including the UK. What do you think about that?
Before we say the Americans are the one who built Canada, you should firstly go back to the Canadian history first to read and understand their history. It's not the Americans. The Americans, technically, Americans have nothing to do with the development of Canada. Okay, we said okay, we can look at Europe today after the European War. Europe was destroyed. Okay, eventually we knew all of us here knew that one day Europe was going to be redeveloped because Europe is highly dependent on Africa, and we know. Let's be honest to ourselves, the Africans are very stupid.
I agree with you, with no
So
controversy.
we are very stupid as an African because why before I continue with Europe to Africa, let me clarify why I say we African we are very stupid. We have majority of our people are stupid people. That's the fact. We have seen the legacy of the Americans and the Europeans to Africa, but yet then still most of our brothers are still believing in the US and in Europe. I'm not saying that they shouldn't travel there to work. To work is opportunity you can find anywhere. The same way they have Americans working in Liberia, the same way they have Americans working in Nigeria, the same way they have Americans working in Korea. Americans are working all around the world and they are making money. So it's normal that we Africans will travel to work there. But that doesn't mean that we should believe in their legacy because we saw what happened to Thomas Sankara. We saw what happened to Lumumba. We saw what happened to Gaddafi. We saw what happened to many Africans leaders. They kill
Let me
our hero and we still believe in them.
let me tell you something shortly before you continue. I'm sorry to interject.
Yeah,
But here is the reality. What I have discovered so far about African people, including my own indigenous people, is that they are expecting somebody from somewhere to come and save them.
that's the stupidity that is in them.
Do you
That
understand
is
the
in
point
us.
now?
Yeah,
That is, they do not believe that they can do it themselves. But they want somebody from Europe, from America, from Asia, from anywhere to, that is, okay. I've studied a lot of protests that they carry on, right? But in all they do, you will see them calling international powers to come and intervene and save them. And I have also listened to young Americans arguing that Africa shouldn't wait for them to come and save them because if you look at the American history, for example, America fought wars to be who they are today, and they are fighting up to date. Any country in the world existing, people fought to liberate them, to put them in the position in which they are today. So I will use this opportunity to tell our fellow black people it doesn't matter where you are located, those in the Caribbean, those that find themselves in Europe, in America, in Asia, in the Middle East, in Australia, understand that nobody is coming to save you. It it is only left for you to organize yourselves. Of course, there is no time that everybody will agree, but organize as many people as possible that will agree and fight for the common man. Fight for that which will set you free. Continue.
So let won't go back. So I'll only giving you little biography about Europe and Africa.
Yeah.
So we know that European had the power to always control Africa for them to continue to develop. Even though we know, when you look at Americans like resettled the European democracy system, but
Mm.
eventually when you look at Europe today, Europe is not like moving like how Europe was before.
Yeah.
Many Europeans are suffering a lot with
I
every
know.
even though we see farm buildings, we see good roads, we see this, but it's not what people really think. You can be, as a human being, you are living, and every day when you sit down, you thinking, you calculating about how much loan you owe, how much this you
Mm.
owe that you're supposed to pay, even the house you are living in. Technically you buy that house, but when you,
On loan.
on loan, and it's not there, the amount of tax you pay on that house, it's not easy. So there is no freedom in Europe. And people who are going on, people who believe in freedom of speech in Europe, go and say something stupid, go and insult the president, you will find yourself in prison. Go and insult any prime minister, you will find yourself in prison. Go and just say stupid things, if you will not find yourself in prison. So when you look at those things, we don't call it freedom of speech, we don't call it freedom.
Yeah.
The governance system that is in Europe is terrible than China. Even though they say China is communist, but at least the Chinese people, the life of the Chinese people is far better than the life of the European, the life of the Americans. That's the reality. If you don't believe the reality, you can take it or you leave it.
Let me shock you. President Trump traveled to Qatar. When he came back to America, he told the Americans, and he said, I quote, he said to American fellow citizens, the poorest man in Qatar is living a life like a billionaire in America. When I say America, America is a continent, but I mean in the United States of America, in USA,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
So now I recently made a video. If you want to watch, you can go down to my page, check the video, you will see it. And I asked like Nigerians, South Africans, and in fact, all the states in Africa. And I said to them, now, what makes the Qatar to live a better life and those in United Arab Emirates to live a better life than you guys? I looked at and I made a research. I said, what is the product that comes out of Qatar and United Arab Emirates? At the end of the day, you will find out that the goods that come out of those countries is oil. So from the money they made from oil, that's what they used to build their countries. If you look at Nigeria, for example, Nigeria has more oil than Saudi Arabia.
And
Believe
Qatar.
me. The only problem Nigeria has is that they have failed to develop the oil sector, the oil field. field they have in Nigeria.
When a bunch of criminal pack themselves together, you think they can save Nigeria? You think that bunch of criminal that is packing in Nigeria, you think they can save Nigeria?
No, no, no. I know they have no interest for the country. What they are doing is they keep embezzling the little money that comes out from the already developed oil sector since the early days of colonial masters. I said to them, the only difference between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia is that Nigeria has failed to develop her oil sector, while Saudi Arabia have invested to develop almost all the oil fields in Saudi, right? Okay, now if you look at United Arab Emirates, Qatar, the money they are using to develop the country is oil money. And I blame the citizens of Africa, common man like you and I said to ourselves, all what we are passing through is not the fault of the politicians. Politicians see it as opportunity. It's just like when there is two wise men in the midst of 10 people. Because if you look at Africa, just almost 0.1% is enjoying the wealth of Africa, while the other 99.99% is suffering because they are not doing what they are supposed to do. There was a one billionaire by the name called Charity Maruka. When I say a billionaire, I mean a billionaire in all currency. When you talk about, all right, okay, I got the point. So Africans should make sure that they do what is right, focus on themselves without expecting a foreign hand to come and help them without doing nothing. All right. So I understand your point, and I will give you opportunity to make your final point on Iran and USA while we move to another topic. Go ahead, please.
So like I said, there is no country in the world the United States have developed, but the United States only helped to set up criminal empire around the world and criminal government. Every single government around the world the United States have set with democracy is a criminal government. Their citizens are suffering, and almost everyone in that country are suffering. So the United States is not a country that that you can guarantee their world, because they are a bunch of they are the worst evil empire that ever existed on the planet. So the Iranian know this, and they fully aware of this. So I don't think the Iranians are stupid enough, like Africans, to sit with Trump and cancel their nuclear ambition. Is not possible. That's why the people continue to guarantee their citizens that we will hold on to our ambition to continue producing our nukes. Even though we are sending people for negotiation, but that doesn't mean that we are going to cancel our program. Our program continues to run. Israel is a small country in the Middle East, and Israel have almost 700 plus nuclear weapons. Like that, 4 to 700 plus nuclear weapons. Then,
Allegedly.
not allegedly, it's true. You know, there is something about news that when they gave that, how people gave the news, it will make the people continues to be like something that they will be in between. They will not understand anything. It's not anything to say allegedly. Israel have a nuclear weapon in the Middle East. That's true, and it's clear.
Yes,
So
but Israeli
before,
government has never admitted to having nuke.
it's not about Israeli government admitting to certain things. They have reality and admitting. Okay, for example, you know, now we are sitting. I'm looking at you. You are black man, and you tell me. I ask you, Paul, you are black man. You say allegedly, or you just like find the answer that not confirmed. Then I say allegedly. Why I'm looking at reality with my eyes that you are black man. So it's clear, and we know. So before Israel is just a small country compared to Iran. So before you even tell Iran to cancel that nuclear ambition, first thing you should disarm Israel.
Okay, let me tell you something. The issue with Iran is that Iran has been highly accused by many foreign governments to be sponsoring a lot of terrorist groups. Example,
Mm.
Hamas,
Mm-hmm.
Hitus,
Mm-hmm.
uh, those in Lebanon and those in Yemen. What is their
Mm.
name? You know, and you know that those guys in Yemen, what they are doing is, like destroying highway cargos going from different continents. They keep firing missile on them,
What's the
stuff
risk?
like that. And it is very clear that these guys are working for Iran. Iran is the headmaster, the leader of all these groups. So if Iran can be doing all this stuff without having nuke, it sounds very dangerous to allow them to obtain nuke. And if Iran obtain nuke, do not forget Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates is going to agitate that them too want to have nuke. How is it going to be settled?
The US is not a country to depend on, like I always say. The US is a criminal cartel. So who determine terrorists? Who determine that this group is a terrorist? Okay, for example, I will allow the public to make their own decision. China having had any military base around the world. China have never threatened any country about fighting them. We know that Taiwan is part of China and Hong Kong is part of China. We know that it's clear. Okay, China have never threatened any country, but the US have built almost 200 bases around China and threaten China every single day. So when we are asking for terrorists, when we are asking who is terrorist, you should better answer that question. Okay, let's see what happened to Libya. NATO, which is American army already, joined with European army when they bomb Libya, carry on terrorist act against Libya, steal the people gold.
Allegedly.
So how do allegedly is reality? Hillary Clinton say it clearly, and we see it on camera, on video.
American government, we
So,
understand the global politics, but
so I'm coming 1 minute. So
okay.
when we are looking at terrorists, better classify terrorists. Okay, let's look at what those people are doing in Yemen. All those people are asking for stop carrying on genocide against the Palestinians. Everything will be fine here. The people are doing it for a cause. Okay, they'll see. They'll go back to Biafra. They'll go back to your nation. You are fighting for Biafra. Why, in case Nigeria is there, Nigeria is saying that Biafra is threatening the Nigerian government, and Nigeria start to carry on genocide, start to kill children, adult, anybody, start to kill them. Now look at that. How will you see the Nigerian government to be? So when you
All
see
right.
the Nigerian government to be bad, don't carry on self-interest. Understand that the same action that the Nigerian government is carrying on the Biafran, that's the same actions the Israeli is doing. So the Israeli is doing the same bad things. So there is no justification. Okay, when we say that Hamas take people from Israel, the question is how many people that you guys couldn't go to table. All the Hamas was asking, you have almost 1+ million Palestinians in the Israeli prison. We just have 170 people. Just bring half of our people outside. We turn your people over to you. Hun- 1 million plus Palestinians. Maybe we're talking about 1 to 2 million plus Palestinians in the Israeli prison. A lot of people.
Come on,
So
brother. What are you
so
saying? How
so
large is the prison then?
no. So we seeing the reality. Then 100 people, you are killing babies, you are killing children. How do you carry that out? How do you justify that type of actions? It's unjustifiable.
Okay. Now, we have a lot to do today. And if I, like this conversation will actually bring out a lot of things. But to cut it short, I would like to say that issue with Iran is that there is a
They are
lot.
not. They don't have any terrorist group. They just have people to. They just have group that protecting their country. It's not a terrorist group. Don't
Okay,
classify them
example.
as
I will
terrorists.
give you example. I will give you
They have
example.
done. They have done nothing to
I
be
will give you. I
classified
will
as
give you.
terrorists.
I will give you example. I will give you example. The
Yeah,
guys in Lebanon, being what is their name?
it's Ebola.
Hezbollah,
Yeah.
right? Those guys, they are not part of Lebanon.
The U.S. have army in around the Middle East. Why not Iran can have their own group around the Middle East too?
The
It's
bottom line,
Iranian
let me
territory.
let me tell you something. For example, in a territory where you are living today, there is also foreign powers, foreign military in this land.
Don't say it's
I'm
foreign
coming.
power. Say the
Understand?
U.S. Army
Understand my
is
point.
there. Just say the U.S. Army is in my country.
Okay, now U.S. Army is in your country.
Yeah,
It was highly accepted by your government.
but it's hardly accepted by the Lebanon. It's no,
No, no, no, no, no, no, no.
no,
That is
no,
not
no, no.
true.
The Lebanon
If you look at
government stands with it's Ebola. So you are not standing for the Lebanese government. So if the Lebanese government not want they don't clarify those people to be there, those people will never be there.
the thing is that when these guys came, they will okay. Anyway, if we continue to go deep into this, I think we will find out a good time to discuss about it because it's a very big topic, somehow controversial, that
It,
everybody need to
it's
have
not
a time.
it's not controversial. It's just about self-interest. Reality
No,
is
no, yeah,
self-interest.
yeah. In life, in everything you do, there must be an interest. There must be an interest. It is
Yeah,
very clear. But
because
any
you
interest
have an
anybody have,
interest.
I believe in humanity first before personal interest.
No, I don't think you
However,
believe in humanity. I don't think so because when you
I
campaign for the
do.
Israeli government, you don't believe
I
in
do.
humanity.
I understand that we have a different belief in some scenarios, which I appreciate, which I welcome, because I like somebody who has opinion. You understand? I
Yeah.
don't like to see somebody who is, oh yes, yes, yes. No, 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 no. I don't want that type of life. And I want to encourage many black people as much as possible to form a personal opinion. Okay? I want them to form personal opinion. I welcome that kind of ideology. Okay, but I think Iran and USA will wait to see what they are up to. All right. We will wait to see what they are up to because the negotiation is ongoing. Trump keep warning that time is running out and stuff like that.
The US government
But
can do straight to Iran, I'll be honest.
we will not say much. We will wait because Libya and Iraq. thought as much, but we saw what happened. We don't want crisis. But let me tell you the difference between Iran and other states. The difference is this: the in the some Pasha, I don't know the that original tribe of Iran, but however, some people in Iran actually do not want the government in place now. Even the Muslims in Iran, simple because simple because they said, I have interacted with many of them. They said they do not want religious leader. They want political leader. Because you must be able to separate religion from politics.
Some people don't want Trump.
That is not an issue.
Some people don't want Tinubu for their own reasons. So every country there will be reasons why people don't want the sitting government. That's the
Yeah.
reality.
Anyway, we will see what happens at the end of the day. Whatever they want to do, we are here to watch them. But again, there is a very big, the world is shaking now. Very, it is a clear message. The world is actually shaking, but people like us, we wish to see peace around the world because when there is peace, we have hope of tomorrow. When there is crisis, everywhere become scary. Like if you look at Russia and Ukraine, actually the situation in Russia and Ukraine is very scary because if President Trump cannot be able to fix the crisis between these two people, I think it might lead to what everybody will regret at the end of the day. Because if you look at the history of World War One and World War Two, it was just a common miscalculation and misunderstanding that led to those crises. And this crisis, you know, took almost millions of lives. And we don't want such to happen. As a political student and perhaps history student, if you look at these two countries and the crisis going on there, what do you think? Like, what do you think can bring an end to the crisis?
For me, for that war, you know, actually,
Hmm.
I reached a point that even I like lose hope or lose trust in Putin in the president. He have the power to conclude that war, but yet and still, he want to settle the war on the diplomatic means.
Hmm.
Which of course those warmongers will not want. The criminal cartel will not easily want. Because they want to destroy Russia and they want to take the Russian resources, like what they are doing to Africa. They want to do the same thing to Russia. But Russia is a powerful country. It can easily happen. So looking at Ukraine, like okay, let me give you an example. What happened over the past few days? Like Ukraine drove some weapon and thing into Russia and they bombed some Russian bases within Russia. I
Yeah,
think you saw the result.
I can hear you. Go on.
I think you saw the results. You saw what Russia did to the capital city in Kiev. The Russians have to reach in Kiev before they destroy it. The Russians have the power to sweep that city in less than a month. From where to where they are positioned, they have all of the weapons that can wipe that city with accuracy. But the Russian government choose not to destroy Ukraine. But the certain government in Ukraine, because of money, they are making their people to suffer just because of money. And my problem I have with Putin is, with the power he has, wipe the entire city off as soon as possible. Get rid of the central government as soon as possible because many people are dying. Gradually, little people are dying. As the war goes on, little by little, people continues to die. So when he decided to wipe the city off, yeah, he just wipe everything out, one and for all. Turn Ukraine outside down, yeah, to rebuild Ukraine as soon as possible. It's simple. Very, very simple. That's not a difficult decision to make. Because the truth is, the more he put on the diplomatic means to settle this war, it's not going to settle. It's not, because the plan of the criminal empire, the criminal empire extend to Europe. We know that from the American empire to the European empire. We know that they don't want this war to finish. That's why they keep supporting this war. Hello.